We got a doozy. This one's big. This one's real big. Let's go. Intro.
Obi-Wan plays.
That's right. What's up? All right.
Obi-Wan plays.
What is going on, everybody? How are y'all doing? We have some big Switch 2 news. Halftime. What's up, Mustafa, Carnage, Evil Hodis, Gina, Late Show? What's up to everybody coming into the chat? We have some pretty big Switch 2 news. Let me get my chat. I'm gonna put my chat right here. Let's get this started. We're going right into it. But first, always give the stream a thumbs up. Let's see where the like count is at. Who came in and gave the stream a thumbs up? We're at 5 likes. I need 5 more people. Let's double that. Let's get it to 10 likes real quick. We are doing a Switch 2 subscriber giveaway. We will be giving away a Switch 2 to a lucky subscriber. We're going to be giving away Switch 2 games. It's going to be dope on the channel. Also, in the description, if you want to join a dope gaming community, I was gaming with the sponsors in Splatoon yesterday. The day before, we were playing Mario Kart. Tonight, we'll see what's going to be on the schedule tonight. But let's get to this breaking news. This is coming from TheVerge.com. The Nintendo Switch 2 and its dock is described by a Reddit leaker, and now largely convinced that the next handheld is legit, that this is legit stuff. So let's talk about it. I'm gonna share my thoughts and we're just gonna chop it up. What's up to everybody coming into the chat? 13 likes, 7 more. Let's get it to 20 likes. All right. Last Friday, we brought you leaked dimensions of the Nintendo Switch from the most likely source yet, a 3D scan of the actual hardware. Now, this is going to talk about that information, and then the new information is tied into this. Watch this. Obtained by case manufacturer D-Brand, which we already talked about. But case manufacturers aren't the only source of leaks. A Redditor named Next Handheld claims to have seen and touched an actual final retail unit of the Nintendo Switch 2. And people are like, cap. How could he get a final retail? I'm telling y'all. Nintendo, it's been reported that Nintendo plans on having 7 million Switch 2 consoles at launch. If that's the case, they're starting to stack their stock of Nintendo Switch consoles. They're probably stored up in warehouses. 1 or 2 are going to leak. I'm just saying. It's just bound to happen. But check this out. And keep in mind too, developers probably have consoles too. Nintendo's probably give them out to developers so that they can see the functionality and shape their games around it. All right. I spoke with them. This is the author of the Verge article. And I've now heard and seen enough to think they might be legit. Let's go. This is crazy. In particular, I've seen 2 photos of a possible Nintendo Switch 2 dock and 1 photo of the inside of a possible Switch 2 controller rail, covered in certification logos and with copper contacts exposed, which also show its metal kickstand hinge open at an angle. Notably, the dock was not included in the 3D scan that's circulating among case manufacturers.
Make sure you like, subscribe.
Yeah, my daughter just said make sure you like and subscribe. Bro, once he's gonna start talking about some stuff that put a smile on my face. All right, let's go. Let's go. I did scan through this before I read it to y'all. Reading it to y'all. All right. Not include. All right. If next handheld is telling the truth, we now know a good bit more about Nintendo's console. For example, as much as we'd love it to be called the Super Nintendo Switch, it'll likely be introduced as the Nintendo Switch 2. So they're saying, and this isn't the only source that first has says that the name more than likely will be the Nintendo Switch 2. This is Nintendo's safest naming of the console. If they just call it the Switch 2, it'll be clear it's an upgrade from the current Switch, and I think that's the best marketing strategy going forward. All right, so that's the first piece, the name. Switch 2, yes, it's not, but just think about it. Every Nintendo console, the name of the previous console, they did some iterative changes, but nothing with just a number 2 at the end to just let you know it's a clear upgrade from one to the next. For the Nintendo Entertainment System, they call the successor the Super Nintendo. And then they call the successor to that the Nintendo 64 to show that it's 64 bits of power, to show the power. GameCube, a little abstract. Wii, very abstract. Wii U, horrible. Even with that handheld, they had the DS, and then going from the DS to the 3DS, and then they had the 3DS, and then they called it a modification to it the 2DS. I'm like, come on, Nintendo. And they also called the 3DS, and then they had another iterative upgrade, and they called it the new 3DS XL. Like, Nintendo's been horrible with naming their systems. So if they just call this the Switch 2, if it ain't broke, you don't gotta fix it. Just an improvement on what Nintendo's currently doing with the Switch. All right, let's keep going. There's more information. We're at 20 likes. 10 people give the stream a thumbs up. Let's crush 30 likes. Officially, Nintendo has only called it the successor to Nintendo Switch. Promised to formally announce the new console by March 31st, 2025, and reveal that it will be backwards compatible with original Switch games. Unofficially, Next Handheld source has heard it might be announced as soon as January. We talked about this, and shared what they claim is first-hand evidence with The Verge. This is where it gets interesting. That it is the Nintendo Switch 2. So this new source is saying, reported to The Verge, that it is going to be called the Nintendo Switch 2. Check this out. The author of this article is saying, I saw a picture of a dock with the same logo as the original Nintendo Switch, only with a 2 attached. This person is saying that they actually saw the dock of the console. Yeah. Hey, what's up, Andrew? It wasn't far off from the Redditor's guess. All right, and that was somebody else who was saying that it's going to be a Switch logo with the 2. And so this is different. This is corroborating that it is going to be called the Switch 2. And while Next Handheld says they're disappointed that the dock doesn't seem to have any more ports than the original, check this out. This is the Switch 2 dock. 2 USB-A and one. It has 2 USB-A. What is USB-A? I know what USB-C is. Is USB-A the same shape as USB-C? It has to be, because USB-C is now like the universal port. Oh, USB-A is just the USB port. USB-A is just a regular USB port, bro. I do that. I just did that. So it's gonna have 2 USB-A ports, 1 HDMI port, like the current dock. Where's my red? Oh, here it is. I have so many docks. I have another dock like just sitting there. So 2 USB-A ports, 1 HDMI port, we can see in the back, there's also a HDMI port in this switch right here. HDMI port. One Ethernet. You gotta have that ether. Bro, only the OLED has the Ethernet port? The OG switch docks didn't have the Ethernet port. You had to get the dongle, I remember. So an Ethernet port and one USB-C like you use for its power brick. It may have a different trick up its sleeve. So it looks like the Switch 2 dock is going to be similar. It has the same amount of ports as the Switch OLED, which is good. The Switch OLED, it has enough ports. I'm never looking at my Switch dock and be like, oh, I wish I had an extra USB-C. It has a good amount of ports. All right, let's keep going. In April, Spanish pub Vandal, which correctly reported minor details of the Switch OLED before launch. So this next source has also correctly reported the Switch OLED information before it launched. Reported that, incredibly, Nintendo might replace the Switch's controller rails with magnets so your Joy-Cons can magnetically snap into place. Today, it no longer seems incredible because the photo I saw of a joystick rail, he's going based off of, this is why this is new information, based off information this author saw on The Verge. The photo I saw of a joystick rail region contains no rail. There's no rail. So just picture on the side, here's the current Switch. We're playing that Mario Luigi Brothers shit, boy. But the side of my Switch OLED, it's a rail where it slides down and in and out. On the Switch 2, it's not going to be a rail. It's just going to be an open space where the Joy-Cons connect to the side, just like this. Boop, and they just snap right into place, which is pretty dope. All right, check this out. I'm telling you, this is all breaking news. What's up, everybody coming into the stream? We're at 30 likes. I need 10 people to give the stream a thumbs up right now. Let's crush, let's eradicate 40 likes right now. All right. Okay, so it says the photo I saw of the joystick rail contains no rail. It's just a long, rounded, hollow area. Interesting. With a 13-pin connector that sticks out so it can slot into the Joy-Con. So at the side, just a hollow area with a 13-pin connector for the Joy-Con to just connect to. Next handle says there's a physical magnetic click when you attach them, so you'll still be able to hear a click. Y'all know that's the Switch's icon, but of course it doesn't sound like that. But this is what's gonna happen. Just like the current Switch, oh, my game got off. Just like the current Switch, when it snaps down, the actual software makes the clicking noise. And I think that's the same thing that's gonna happen when you put it to the side. All right. There's a physical magnetic click when you attach them. And that you'll press a much larger button on the controller, one that's physically connected to a magnet to release. All right, so they're saying that the button is actually connected somehow to a magnet to release. You can see those mock-ups in the D-Brand story. More importantly, the Nintendo Switch 2 might finally get rid of the infamous Joy-Con drift that plagues its controllers to this day. Nick's handheld claims the controllers will have magnetic Hall effect joysticks, which don't contain the same deteriorating sensor material and can be recalibrated easily. Wow. So the Switch 2 Joy-Cons, Stick drift will be a thing of the past. It's going to have magnetic Hall effect joysticks, and they can be recalibrated. They can be recalibrated to sync back to its normal functionality and usage. So this is interesting stuff, improvement, and I think that's what Nintendo's doing. They're assessing everything that went right with the Switch. Let's keep it. The slim designs, the disconnecting of the Joy-Cons, all that stuff I loved about the Switch. More power, no more stick drift. RIP to anyone who bought a Switch Lite and you couldn't replace the Joy-Cons. You had to just send the whole console back to Nintendo for stick drift. But no more stick drift, according to this source. Yeah, the Switch beat PS2 finally in the US. The mail. We have to keep that in mind, not globally, the US. I'm hoping it does eventually pass the PS2 globally. It can. Nintendo just got to give it a price drop or something. All right. Let's keep going. There's more information. A U-shaped kickstand. The original Nintendo Switch had a tiny, easy to topple gum stick of a kickstand. Y'all remember that? That was horrible. And the Switch OLED had a wide flat plate. I like the OLED. But the Nintendo Switch 2 will feature a U-shaped rail of a kickstand, according to a photo that Next Handheld shared with me. This is all from his first hand actually seeing it. I like the wide kickstand of the OLED. My only thing with this is sometimes it's like you can't just on your first try sometimes get it. You get it like second, third try, pull it. The U shape at the side means you don't have to depend on the bottom. You could possibly go like from the corner angle. Just an easier way to open up the kickstand. I'm all for it. Like I said, slight improvements, quality of life improvements. All right. I understand that the 3D CAD file shows the U-shape too, and case manufacturers have begun sharing images of similar U-shaped kickstands too. But it looks like it could be beefier than some of the mock-ups floating around. This is why this is new information. They're saying that it could be a little bit beefier, the kickstand, than some of the mock-ups that y'all have seen. All right. This next part of the this breaking news is very interesting. Y'all remember how there's the possibility of more power actually in the dock? This is going to talk about it and leaves a room to some speculation. Also, before we get to the power, this is a good part of the article. I saw some of the mock-ups where this is how the Switch 2 currently stands in the dock. I've seen it where they're saying that the dock is actually lowered where it'll show more of the screen. How cool would it be if the Switch will double up as a clock or something, like just show stuff, you could just see stuff while it's in sleep mode running across the screen, like just interesting cool stuff like that. I think will be pretty dope. But extra power when docked with a question mark. This is what the article says. Once upon a time, Nintendo was reportedly planning to release a Nintendo Switch Pro, one that would output 4K graphics when docked to your TV, at least partly thanks to Nvidia's DLSS AI upscaling. That didn't happen. There was no Switch Pro. We're not just Switch 2. But the Nintendo Switch 2's dock might be designed to let the handheld run a bit faster. Check this out. On Reddit, Next Handheld cryptically teased that asking if the dock had a fan was the right question. The Switch 2 dock might have a fan. And in a picture shared with The Verge, I can see the alleged dock has big feet around back. One's positioned so it can lie down horizontally without blocking a set of vents. While I don't imagine you'd intentionally put it on its back, as a handheld might fall out of the completely open slot up top, I can imagine Nintendo wanting to make sure the dock doesn't overheat if you accidentally knock it over. Intriguingly, next handheld says, check this out, the dock is rated for 60 watts. The Switch 2 dock is rated for 60 watts. While the Switch 2, the actual console, is rated for 45 watts. Both of which would be substantially higher than the original if true. More power. That's what we want. Check this out. The original Switch had an unusual 39 watt charger for both dock and handheld modes, which only provided up to 18 watts for the handheld. So we're going from the Switch of 39 watts in dock to 60 watts for the Switch 2 when docked, 60 watt power draw. For the original Switch, we're going from 18 watts, and now they're saying the Switch 2 has a 45 watt, more than double the power draw. Man, this console is going to be, it might be more powerful than we originally thought. That's interesting. And they're teasing that the dock might have a fan. He wasn't real clear with it, but they're going back to the right question is asking if the dock had a fan. I don't recall my Switch ever getting too hot in the dock, but if there's more of a power draw, you might need a fan somewhere in the dock to keep the system cool. It could imply more power. Well, it's going to have more power in dock mode because you're going to have be connected to the wattage. But whether or not the actual dock will have its own processing, that doesn't seem clear. And I don't think that's going to happen because I think Nintendo wants the same graphical fidelity in handheld as in dock mode. And if you have extra power when it's in dock, it's not going to be the same. Now, it could be just like the Switch where the screen, you won't have to use as much power because the screen might be 1080p in handheld. And when you put it in dock, I keep saying 1440p. I don't know why that just feels like the sweet spot for me. 1440p in dock, which will be an upgrade from the current Switch. I'm telling you, this gen on my PS5, most of my games I run 1440p, 60 frames per second. And so if the Switch can get 1440p, 60 frames per second, we'll be pretty good, man. All right. All right, here we go. Let's keep it going. All right. You can dig through Next Handheld's Reddit comments or read this early summary let's put open link in new tab. We're gonna look at that too. So there's a lot of stuff we're looking at. We're at 45 likes. 5 people give the stream a thumbs up. Let's crush 50 likes right now. All right.
Like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe. That's what my daughter just says. You can dig through. All right. But the Redditor is upfront that they never got to turn the handheld on. So they're saying they never actually turned the console on or play any games. They don't know whether a Switch 2 can play original Switch cartridges or only digital Switch 1 games. That hasn't been. Nintendo just said that you'll be able to play Switch 1. I can imagine that it has to be physical too. There's no way you could just have digital backwards compatibility and not physical. If it's going to be backwards compatible, you have to go all out both ways. And it looks like the cartridges might be the same. They don't know if it has a microphone or a camera or how much storage space it has or its performance or anything about its reportedly 8-inch or its launch titles. Now, one thing, man, I wish Nintendo could add some Nintendo quirkiness to your console. A camera. Add a camera, Nintendo, to the Switch, like where you could integrate it in some games, like your facial expression, like you gotta show like you're angry and like, so just do something creative. Put a Nintendo twist on it. So the past Nintendo handhelds did have a camera. Let's see. You know what I liked on my 3DS? The AR cards. The AR cards were cool. So we'll see. We'll see. All right. Here we go. They do say, check this out, it will launch in dark gray. That was the color of the original Switch, dark gray. However, like the original Nintendo Switch, and that it will be followed by a white model and one themed with a Nintendo game that hasn't received a themed Switch yet. And they're the latest to post, possibly corroborate, a new second USB-C port on the top, though that was obviously revealed in the 3D scan. All right. If it's true that Nintendo will announce the Switch 2 in January, though, you won't have much longer to wait. All right. Here's some more information. All right, so let's go. This is straight from Reddit. Joy-Cons with straps similar to OG Switch have been confirmed. So, where's my Joy-Con straps? Here we go, right here. I just have random stuff in my game room. There's the Joy-Cons with the straps. I don't ever use these straps, but these have been confirmed that the Switch 2 will have similar Joy-Con straps. All right. Check this out. This is crazy stuff. It appears the leaker is working with a Nintendo engineer or some type of engineer that would have access to this hardware. This is revealed when a user asks, how does next handheld know about the Hall effects of the Joy-Con? And he stated, engineer confirmed. The leaker suggests a special edition Switch 2 themed console will launch later on. The leaker has stated that while this will be a game IP that has not been a special edition console before. People have suggested a new Mario Kart is the game because the leaker stated it includes 9 in the title. There has already been a Mario Kart Switch console. So by going by the leaker's own words, it wouldn't be. The previous leak was saying that there was going to be a Mario Kart 9 themed Nintendo Switch. According to this source, that's not going to be the case. It's going to be a themed console of a game Nintendo has never used as a themed console for the Switch. So what can we eliminate? Zelda. There's been a Zelda themed Switch. Mario Kart. There's been a Mario Kart themed Switch. Animal Crossing. There's been an Animal Crossing themed Switch. Splatoon. I got my Splatoon OLED right here. That's out. Metroid, that's out because the OLED was Metroid Dread themed. It was a Metroid Dread color. What can that?
Has there been a Super Smash Bros. Switch yet?
Bro, my son just asked, has there been a Super Smash? Yeah, there has been. There has. I was right about to say there hasn't, but there has. Remember the pitiful Joy-Cons that just had? It was just a great Joy-Cons with just like the smash across going down and across. There's been a Smash themed one. What else could there be? Has there been a 3D? Has there been a Mario Odyssey themed Switch? I know there's been a Mario, the red Mario, but nothing specific to Mario Odyssey, I think. I could be wrong. Somebody let me know. Has there been a Mario? No, there's already been Metroid. Could we be getting an all new IP at launch? I don't think Nintendo's going to be that. I think we're going to get a new IP this generation, but at launch, that's risky. That's taking a risk. Nintendo's going to play it safe. I think Mario Kart 9 would be at launch. That would be make sense, but not bundled with the console. It's interesting to see what will be bundled, what will be the themed Switch for the Switch 2. They're saying it's not going to be Mario Kart. Wait. Edit number 4. Check out what they're saying. Upon further research, the Switch console version of Mario Kart 8 only includes the game, but no design changes to the console. It is unclear if Leaker includes this in reference to his comments about a Switch 2 console game with the number 9 in its title and IP that hasn't been a Switch console before. All right. So it could still be Mario Kart, because the Mario Kart bundle only had the game included, but it didn't have like a racing kart or a themed. The actual Switch didn't change. So it could still be. All right. Oh my goodness. I need to get a drink of water. There's so much more information. Hold on, y'all. Hold on. Let me get something to drink. Hold on. I'll mute myself when I get a drink of water. And then we're going to continue. Well, I don't need to mute myself. Bro, there is a lot more questions and answers from this source. So we're going to check this out. Let's deep dive into it. Meantime, give the stream a thumbs up. Give the stream a thumbs up. Let me see how many likes we're at. I'm walking back to my seat now. Oh man, we still got some more stuff to talk about. We ain't done yet, ladies and gentlemen. We're at 54 likes. 6 people give the stream a thumbs up. Let's get it to 60 likes before I drink my water. Finish drinking my water. Water's good for you. Y'all ready? Let's get to it. These are all questions that were asked the individual who actually saw the Switch 2 console. First question. Is it really called Switch 2? The response. Yes, it is officially called Switch 2. They're saying that it's going to be called the Switch 2. I think the reveal is coming in January. I think we are less than a month away from this console being revealed. Just for all of this stuff to be out, they're saying it's officially called the Switch 2. The next question, what does the logo look like? A giant 2 next to the original logo. Makes sense. Next question. Rumors were the system just started production. Is that true? Here's his response. Oh, it's further ahead than that. So according to him, it did not just start production, meaning we're getting closer to launch than mass production. Question, how do you know it's a final retail model? Response, it is the final retail model. Why can't you post proof until Christmas? Ladies and gentlemen, on Christmas, this person is going to post proof of a retail model Switch 2. Revealing proof now would make it too obvious who I am. He doesn't want to blow his cover right now. When will it be revealed? I've heard January, possibly during a Nintendo meeting, but that isn't confirmed. That's a response. Question, do you know the release date? His response, mid-March is what I've been told, but this is not from first-party source. January reveal, March launch. Yeah, he has a job he doesn't want to blow. Gods, what's up, bro? This is crazy. What do you think the price will be? Response. My best guess is between $400 to $500. He says $399 to $499. Do you know any launch titles? His response. I don't know any launch titles, but there is a game-themed Switch of a game IP that hasn't had its own dedicated console yet. So it could still be Mario Kart, because we got a Mario Kart bundle, but there was no Mario Kart themed Nintendo Switch. Kirby, but I don't think Kirby's gonna move the needle. Kirby is owned by Nintendo. Yes. HAL Laboratories owned by Nintendo. All right, let's go. Can you confirm? Well, I'm not sure if HAL Laboratories is owned by Nintendo, but Kirby is a Nintendo IP. Can you confirm storage space if screen is OLED or LCD? Check this out. He says it's going to be an LCD screen. I can't confirm the storage space as I didn't get to turn it on. He just confirmed that it will be an LCD screen, which I'm cool with. The OLED, it does pop out a bit more, so you know there's going to be an upgrade, an OLED upgrade. But LCD at launch saves with the price. Nintendo's always been price conscious of their consoles. All right. Did you see a camera on it? Is the next question. There was no camera on it, but for some reason, the guy did suggest the top USB could be used. Let me see. Could be used. Let me scroll. I got to scroll over. Could be used. Why doesn't this just. All right. Could be used for it, but I don't think so. That's what he's saying. Because having a USB port at the top keeps it open for all kinds of usage. We don't know what you can do. All kinds of, the possibility is endless with what you could add to the console. All right. How many USB ports are located on the dock? I was disappointed. It's literally the same. 2 USB ports on the side, USB-C, HDMI, Ethernet, all right, and USB-C. Does the system include a mic? I personally did not notice a mic, actually. Sorry, I'll look for it next time. How heavy is it? Is it still usable in handheld mode? It's much lighter than a Steam Deck, but about the same weight as a Switch OLED. Perfect. Perfect. You never feel tired holding it, but it doesn't feel cheap. Like it's still some weight to it. Like it's the perfect weight. So it's going to be about the same weight. So if you have a Switch OLED, that's what the Switch 2 is going to feel like, but it's going to be larger. All right. What does the dock look like? The dock has curved edges and back, and it doesn't cover the top of the screen. All right. Cover the top of the screen. All right. Question. Is there a click sound when attaching Joy-Cons like the original Switch? Answer. There's a physical magnetic click, but I don't know if there's a digital sound. Again, that's when you actually turn on the console. We're at 62 likes. 8 people give the stream a thumbs up. Let's crush 70 likes right now. All right. So, and I don't know if there's a digital sound. And again, that's what I said. For example, let me turn this on. When I'm in the middle of a battle. All right. When y'all see that? It's a digital sound that the actual Switch makes. Watch, let's do it. So you just, well, y'all know that digital sound. That's what he said. He's not sure because he wasn't able to turn on the console. All right. Switch 2 giveaway for subscribers. All right. There's curved edges there. Click sound. Are the buttons similar to the original Switch? The buttons and sticks are slightly bigger, but similar in feel. That's pretty good. Now we've talked about the buttons being larger, But according to this person, the actual sticks on the Switch are larger as well. And for comparison, the sticks on the actual Joy-Cons are smaller than the Pro Controller sticks. So if they can get it as close to the feel of a Pro Controller as possible, I'm all for it. So not just the buttons are larger, but the actual joysticks on the Joy-Cons are larger. Dope, dope, dope stuff. What's different visually compared to the original Switch? The main visual differences are on the back. A new Joy-Con release button and a U-shaped kickstand. What is the color of the console and Joy-Cons? Dark gray all around. The console is dark gray, he's saying. Because on the original Switch, the console was black and there's just the Joy-Cons that were different colors. Was the original Switch gray? No, it was black. Yeah, it was black. They're saying that, let me read this again. Dark gray all around. When he asks what is the color of the console and Joy-Cons. Interesting. Will system have multiple SKUs at launch with different console colors then? I don't know about at launch, except that gray ones are being sent first. Not sure if white will be launched or later, or when the game themed one will come. I'm still hoping that Nintendo has an all digital, and Nintendo may not have an all digital SKU at launch, just to keep it simple. Like to confuse, is this one more powerful? Is this one better? Just have one SKU at launch would simplify things. So, makes sense. Will we have color options then for the main Switch unit color as opposed to the original always being black? Colorways go across the whole console, not Joy-Cons. This is breaking news. He's saying, because I was saying maybe he wasn't clear. No, he's saying that the entire console is going to be gray, not just the Joy-Cons. When this current Switch launched, the Switch was black and the Joy-Cons were gray or blue and red. He's saying that the actual console is going to be gray, not just the Joy-Cons. For him to be this confident and this specific, I think he knows something. What is USB-C for and how do Joy-Cons feel? They feel the same as the Switch ones, but they are surprisingly a Hall effect and slightly bigger. So the Joy-Cons have the similar feel as the current Switch, but larger. Are the Joy-Cons completely flat like the Switch OG Joy-Cons? They're flat on the back, okay? Does it have new functionality besides a hardware upgrade? Yes, there are new features, especially in the Joy-Cons. Interesting, but what does he mean by new features, especially in the Joy-Cons? Will old Switch 1 cartridges fit? I didn't have a game cartridge, but it's the same physical slot as the previous Switch. I have heard that it won't physically fit into the Switch 1, however. So Switch 2 cartridges won't fit into the Switch 1, but Switch 1 will fit into the Switch 2. And that makes sense. This could, oh my goodness, I think we just got, that means at launch, Nintendo first party Switch 2 games will not be cross-gen. Because if they were going to be cross-gen, Switch 2 cartridges would be able to fit into Switch 1, the Switch 1 console. And you could just buy Mario Kart 9 and play it on both systems. The fact that this person is saying Switch 2 cartridges won't fit in the Switch 1 console. Thank you, Nintendo. Bro, y'all remember the lie Sony told us all when the PS5 launched? Sony said, we believe in console generations. And then for the first 2 years, had every single PlayStation 5 exclusive also on the PlayStation 4. I hated that. Why? Because I played my PS5 not to be held back by last gen architecture and power. If this is true, that means from launch, Mario Kart 9 only available on the Switch 2. The next 3D Mario game only available on the Switch 2. Yes, Nintendo. That makes me feel valued as a purchaser of your new system. This is big. This is big. That is pretty big stuff. That's big. That's major. That means, and two, Nintendo has to make an incentive to buy your next gen system. That could be why Nintendo's amping up to make sure they have enough consoles out there, because once Mario Kart 9 is out and it's only going to be playable on Switch 2, those consoles are going to sell. All right, let's keep going. Can you give details on the new Joy-Con features? Because he did say the Joy-Con will have new features. The top side of the Joy-Con has a surprise feature. What? This is all breaking news. The top side of the Joy-Con has a surprise feature, and the magnets themselves are buttons. I want to know what the feature is. He's just teasing. Question. I've heard about a gimmick with the top of the Joy-Con thumbsticks. Is that true? There's a special orientation you can use the Joy-Cons that's unlike before. Not sure if that's what this refers to. There's an orientation with the Joy-Cons that you can use that were not like before. All right, this was the where you play. Does he mean you could play it upside down or something? That's the only orientation I could, or this way? I don't know what he means by there's an orientation of the Joy-Cons like this, upside down like this, where you have buttons to the left and the sticks on this. That's odd. That's odd. All right. That's odd. That's odd. All right. That there's an orientation you can use the Joy-Cons that's unlike anything before. Does the dock have a fan? So this is the right question. It could be hinting at performance increase that requires a fan. Are the triggers analog? Are they digital or analog? I didn't have any games to determine that, but it didn't feel like it was, as it wasn't something I paid attention to, but will if I do again. And this really isn't a deal breaker for me. Digital or analog. Analog is where you can slowly press down and it's pressure sensitive. Nintendo were the originators to that pressure sensitive controller buttons. But he's saying that it could be just digital, which I'm cool with that. Performance and games. We're almost there, ladies and gentlemen. This is crazy stuff. We're at 68 likes. I need 2 people give the stream a thumbs up. Let's crush 70 likes right now. Were you able to turn it on or play games? No, I didn't turn it on. However, I know of one game coming with a special edition Switch, and the number 9 is in the title. Is the Switch 2 capable of 4K at 30 frames per second when docked? I don't know about resolution or frame rate options, he says. Are you excited about the Switch 2? He says, I was more excited before seeing it, but I'm not disappointed. The weight and feel are much better than the Steam Deck. Does the new hardware feel underwhelming in hand or like a substantial upgrade? He says, personally, I love it. You get the size of the Steam Deck, but the slim and lightness of Switch 1. So it seems like Nintendo's gonna have the best of both worlds. The power with the size of the Steam Deck, but the slimness and lightness of the Switch. You mentioned a PSP somewhere in the thread. Is this also true or were you joking? He says, not joking. I don't know what that means. All right, so that is all of the information. A lot of details we just covered. I just covered for you all. Crazy stuff for the Switch 2. Breaking news. We know about more information about the dock. Interesting tidbits that the Joy-Cons are going to have some new feature. That's good because Nintendo is always known for doing something cool with their system that just puts a smile on your face that no one expects. There will be a new feature in the Switch 2 Joy-Cons that he couldn't elaborate on too much, which is interesting. There were leaks that, you know how only the right Switch has the IR camera, that both Joy-Cons will have cameras at the bottom. That's interesting, but we have to see. That's it. That's it. The Steam Deck overheats, tough. Switch 2 Pro Controller leak, I can't wait. I want to see any improvements that they make. Now, if there's going to be new features in the Joy-Cons, there's going to have to be a new Pro Controller for the Switch 2. All right, y'all. That's all the information in this article, but a lot of details about the Switch 2 we just talked about. What do you guys think about everything? Sound off in the comment section below. I want to know. But before you go, bro, click that subscribe button. Stay up to date. All things Nintendo. We out. Peace.
Obi-Wan plays.
Yes, right. What's up? All right.
Obi-Wan plays.